Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Carolyn Salinger with UNC Charlotte, and we're here to talk to everyone today about the Bachelor of Science in Neurodiagnostics and Sleep Science. It's a pretty exciting day today. We have graduation here at UNC Charlotte on campus, and we're very happy to also have with us today is Auburn Deming. She is one of our faculty members, and she's going to be talking to you a little bit about the program and the curriculum. And then I'm going to follow up with some information about admissions and some of the student services that we provide here. Before we get started, I want to ask a couple of things for people who are logging in. We're really thrilled that you're able to join us today. And if you could go ahead and mute your mics on your computers if you're logging in, particularly with a laptop, just so we won't get any feedback. The second thing is, if you have any questions, we are happy to answer any questions that you have. You can either email me at carolyn.salinger@uncc.edu, or you can actually, if you have a mic on your computer, you can request to talk at the end of our presentation. So we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I would like to introduce Auburn Deming. And again, like I said earlier, she is one of our faculty members, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about the structure of the program. Thank you.
All right. Again, thank you to everyone who is able to join us today. I'll go ahead and start off by introducing Carolyn who was just up here. Dr. Mary Ellen Wells is our other full-time faculty member and program director from the Chapel Hill campus. And then I am an assistant clinical professor and our coordinator here on the Charlotte campus. So there's our contact information. So just to give a basic overview of the program is what we're going to talk about today. I'll talk a little bit about the background, how the program started, why it started, how it's set up, talk about some of the career opportunities for our graduates, the coursework that we have in the program. We'll talk about our accreditation, and then Carolyn will talk about our admissions process. So sleep science and neurodiagnostics, they're a unique emerging health field dedicated to recording the study of the electrical activity of the brain, spinal cord, peripheral nerves, and the functions of the cardiovascular system, and the functions of the respiratory system. So we'll talk a little bit about the people who are eligible to join the program. This is just a general basic overview of the types of things that our neurodiagnostics and sleep science students do as part of their job. Basically, the students that we have coming in, we have students primarily from the EEG backgrounds and sleep science backgrounds. So in order to be accepted to the program, you need to have your REEGT, your registered EEG technologist credential, or your registered polysomnographic technologist credential. So what we want to do in the program, and what our graduates typically experience when they complete the program, is that we're really working on developing leaders in sleep technology. So a lot of these graduates go on to be educators and directors in associate degree programs in both EEG and sleep. We also have a lot of our students go on to be directors or lead techs in their labs. Some of them go on and start their own businesses or start their own labs or their own sleep or DME companies. Developers of new technology. We just finished our senior capstone projects, and it's always fun for me to see what ideas people get from the research that they do as their capstone project and what they decide to do with that. We've got some really great things, I think, that will be on the horizon if everyone's able to follow through with the research that they've done and the things that they've thought of that our fields need. We also have some people that go on and work in hard research, that actually work with patients and do actual scientific research that they write up to provide us all with more information for our field. And overall, what we're really trying to do is create leaders in our field. So people that are willing to go that extra mile, to take that extra step, finish their bachelor's degree, and be able to move on and really lead us into the future of neurodiagnostics and sleep science. So some of our graduates, a lot of them have gone on to work specifically in hospitals, specialized sleep and epilepsy labs, private practices, educational institutions, research facilities, equipment design, sales, manufacturing companies. And one of the things, there's a little bit more information there at the bottom, but you know, we really have a lack of technologists out there. We all know that we need more technologists, we need more people in the trenches, but we also need people to lead those folks that are working directly with our patients, and to be more advanced in the skill set that they have. You know, a lot of people talk about home sleep testing and the threat that could have on our profession, that a lot of people are doing that rather than coming into our labs and having sleep studies. And when that initially started, I know a lot of people were very worried about being able to maintain their careers, because they worried that people just weren't going to have sleep studies anymore. And from what we've seen, and in my talking with others, it seems that around the country and around the world even, what we're seeing is that a lot of people are going in and having the home sleep studies done, but there's still a lot of people that are going in and having full sleep studies done. And what we're seeing, though, is that those people that are having those full sleep studies are the patients that have more going on. They have more comorbidities, they're sicker, they're more complicated. And so when we deal with those patients, we really have to make sure that we know what we're doing, that our techs have been properly trained in the advanced practice, and to be able to really take care of these patients the best that we can. So that's one of the things that we focus on. You'll see in the curriculum, we focus on advanced practice, not only in sleep, but also in EEG monitoring. We have some opportunities for you to observe and take part in advanced EEG monitoring as part of the program as well. So we're really trying to create better technologists and people with more experience and more leadership for the profession. So the NDSS program itself, the accreditation, we are actually accredited by the Committee on Accreditation of Polysomnographic Technologist Education Programs, or the COAPSG, which is a committee on accreditation for CAHEP. You may have heard that term before. CAHEP is the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs, and they are the same organization that accredits most of the allied health programs within the United States, and actually internationally as well. EMS, medical assisting, neurodiagnostics, sonography, just to name a few, are some of the other allied health professions that CAHEP accredits. So we are accredited through them, and we are actually the only bachelor's level program in polysomnographic technology that is accredited by CAHEP. And to my knowledge, we're actually the only program anywhere in the world that even exists, let alone to be accredited. So if you really are wanting to become a leader in your field and further your education, this is a great way to do it, because we're the only program out there, and we're completely online, so you can complete the program no matter where you live. You don't have to live in North Carolina to go through our program, which is one of the things that makes it very nice. So to talk a little bit about the program specifically and the coursework, these are the general outline of the types of courses that we have. Like I mentioned, we do have advanced practice in neurodiagnostics and in sleep science. We focus on principles of education for leaders, and so we talk about general higher education principles and philosophies for those that are interested in going on and being educators. We also talk about the philosophy and application of scientific research. So we talk a lot about how to properly read and interpret and evaluate scientific articles and scientific research that has been conducted, how to know if it was a good study, how to use that in your everyday practice and dealing with your patients, and how to use that to really implement evidence-based practice and handling your patients. And we also have projects where you will be given the opportunity to do research as part of the program, and hopefully go on and be able to really make a difference in the field in an area that's very passionate to you. We also talk about the philosophy and principles of laboratory management, healthcare administration, and finance. And so that's kind of more the business piece of it, where we actually focus on giving you skills and background knowledge in becoming good business administrators in a healthcare environment. And so when you leave the program, you have a lot of areas that you've touched on above and beyond what a basic technologist education would include. So you really are able to go out and do a variety of things as a result of the training that you'll get in this program. So this is what our curriculum actually looks like. In the first year, I will say you're never a full-time student while you're in the program, unless you want to take extra courses beyond what's required for our program and maybe get an extra minor or look at something else. But the first semester is 9 credits. We have a pathophysiology of sleep, neurological, and related disorders. We also have a course that goes right along with that that talks about neurological and sleep diagnostic and therapeutic methods and monitoring services. So those are some of the nuts and bolts advanced practice courses. And so we start with those. And then we also throw you right away to looking at the scientific methods and evaluating the research and understanding how to do that before you go on in the program. The second semester then, we have the second part of the advanced practice courses, the advanced sleep and neurodiagnostic clinical procedures. So this is where we talk more about special testing and a lot about neurological monitoring, special testing, those types of things. We also have an information technology course that focuses on applications in healthcare. And then the first summer, we do a practicum. So we have students that are getting ready to go out and do their practicum right now. And this is something that is a face-to-face, hands-on application. And so what you'll do is, if you want to come to North Carolina, you're more than welcome to. We have fabulous labs and great staff at our UNC Chapel Hill labs at the neurological hospital there. And there is housing available for a very reasonable cost. So if you do want to come and do your clinical or your practicum hours there, you can, and we can help you make arrangements to do so. However, if that's not an option for you, we also are always happy to make arrangements for you to complete those practicum hours anywhere in the country. And we've actually even had students do that practicum in other countries. And so if you want to, if you live in Colorado or California and you want to complete those clinical hours there, you're welcome to do so, and we will help you make arrangements to do that. So the second year then, in the fall, we have Principles and Practice of Healthcare Education. That's the course that gets you ready to be an educator, should you wish to do that. Even if you don't want to work in education, it's very good. It gives you some really good basic principles on how to work with technologists later. Maybe, you know, at some point or another, all of us become a mentor of some kind, whether it's our own employees, maybe you have students from a community college coming in and working at your lab. So even if you don't want to work in education, there's still good skills to have. Program administration is more of the business aspects. And then the advanced physiological monitoring and data acquisition, that's again another one of the advanced practice courses. And then in the spring, before you graduate, that last spring, that 5th term, there's a leadership in healthcare organizations course. And that one focuses more on, a little bit more on the business side of it, but then it also talks specifically about how to be a leader, how to be a good leader, project management, and how to be an effective leader in any situation, not just in your career. We also have an internship and a capstone that you do then in that last semester, and we really let the students drive that themselves. So if you are interested in education, we try to help you find an internship that lets you focus on that. If you're interested in research, we try to help you find an internship that helps you focus on research. So that way you can really tailor your educational experience to what is really your passion and your career and help you move forward and give you more experience in that. The capstone project then is actually a research project. Everyone gets to choose what their project is. And it's not a very long time, it's one semester, and so it is rather brief. Usually our students, we do require that all of our students get IRB approval or exemption so that they can go on and do more with the study later if they so choose. But usually that capstone project is a stepping stone for them to go on and do more research. It usually involves the literature review, maybe the first steps in trying to collect survey data or looking at patient data, those types of things. And then is graduation. So before I turn it over to Carolyn, I just had a couple more points that I wanted to make sure that I touched on. When we accept students into the program, we do require that you have your associate degree. We prefer that it be in neurodiagnostics, respiratory care, or polysomnographic technology, so an associate degree or higher. And if you have questions about that, you're always welcome to email myself or Carolyn, and we'll discuss that with you. We also require that you have either your REEGT or your RPSGT credential before you start the program. I know we have a lot of people that are just finishing their associate degree program right now, and will take that exam over the summer. That's fine as long as you pass the exam before courses start in the fall. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we're a unique program and that we only, when we have people come in, we don't take your associate degree and pick it apart and say, did you take this psychology? Did you take this math? Like you would normally see with transferring. We really try to make it as easy as possible. We take all of the credits from your program, we apply them as a lump sum, and then the only courses that you have to take as a student here in order to graduate with your bachelor's in neurodiagnostics and sleep science are our prescribed courses that I just showed you on the last few slides. So even if you're out of state, the amount of courses that you have to take is very low to finish the program. And you also are getting a good value for what we're transferring in for the credits that you get for your undergrad or for your associate degree and your credential. So just to kind of keep that in mind, and you know, if you do have questions about that, let me know. So without further ado, I will go ahead and turn it back over to Carolyn and let her talk to you a little bit more about admissions.
Okay, thank you, Abby. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the admissions process, but what I would first like to tell you a little bit about is in distance education, speaking of accreditation, I wanted you all to know that we are also accredited by the USDLA, which is the United States Distance Learning Association, and we are accredited as a quality distance education program. So you can be assured that we make sure that this program is quality on every level. And as you heard from Abby, it's a very comprehensive program. And as she mentioned, everything is offered online, or, you know, in terms of the practicum over the summer, you can do that in your hometown, or again, we'd love to have you join us in Chapel Hill as well. So we, in distance education, we have been trying to become more quantitative in making more analytical decisions and understanding who our students are on a much deeper level. And so I wanted to just share with you some information that we've recently captured, and we like to present it in more of a visual format, which is great for me. I'm very visual. So you can kind of get a little idea of the class profile for 2014. As you can see, we have a variety of students from different age levels. You're never too old to go back to school. You're never too young to start. We have students from all over the country. As Abby mentioned, we have students that do practicums in other countries. So we're really expanding in our market. You can see our gender breakdown, and also we have been starting to keep track of our students and the persistence. So do students who take a class 1 year also come back and enroll in the second year? And as you can see, those numbers are looking really great, and in fact are above the national average for college persistence. So we're really proud of kind of the deeper level analytics that we're doing. And I think that also speaks to the quality of the program, because we are very concerned and put a lot of time and resources into student services and helping students to succeed and persist in their program and graduate. That's what we want. So as you're getting ready to make your decision, I know many of you who are joining us today live have already started your application. And so as you're making your decision, if this is a program for you, there's some things you might want to ask yourself. For instance, do you have access to a computer for an extended period of time? You're going to be doing, obviously, all of your work online, and you will need good connection to the internet and the ability to, access the internet at various times. But you can also do it at a time that's good for you. So and I'll talk a little bit about some of the benefits of the program. How are you with your computer skills? We have students who enter this program at a variety of different levels in terms of their computer literacy, and that's fine. Again, if you need assistance with some computer programs, that's part of our student services. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable. One of the things that we do for our students who are admitted to the program is over the summer, you will be enrolled in an online orientation. And we go through all of the different aspects of technology that you'll be using throughout your time with us at UNC Charlotte and Chapel Hill. Do you have the support at home to be able to put the time into completing your degree? I have a family and I am going to school. And so, I've had these conversations with my family that, I'm going to need some significant time by myself on the computer completing my work. So you will want to have these conversations with your family before you start the program. How is my writing ability? Again, we have people that come into the program at all different levels with writing, and that is not a problem. We work with you. We want to work with you. We have a wonderful writing center here on campus, and I'm going to talk about some of the student services in a minute as well. And then, if you have a problem, do you ask for assistance? Because what we don't want is for you to be having an issue or having problems and not say anything, because again, we want to help you finish your degree. So please do, if you're in the program, please let us know if there's anything. And we've had students at various times throughout their program who have, maybe they become pregnant and, they need a little time off or whatever, but we will work with you. So I guess that's what I want to say. Just speak up and we will work with you on any issues that you're having. And then, does this program fit into your career goals? As Abby mentioned, this is a very comprehensive program. We want you to take a deeper level into of understanding and knowledge into the industry. And so if you are entering this program, we hope that it is your passion and that you are excited to succeed and become a leader and advance your industry. So some of the benefits of the program are, number one, the flexibility. This is what we hear time and time again. Most of our students, if not all of our students, do work while they are in the program. So we've set it up to kind of support that. It's very flexible. And again, you can sign in to your program at times that are convenient for you. All of the programs are delivered through a learning management system that we use here called Moodle. And so basically what Moodle is you log in with your 49er. We're UNC Charlotte, and our mascot is the 49ers. So we call it your 49er username and password. And you log in at a time that's convenient for you. You can see what your assignments are for the week or for the day, or however the instructor has set it up. And then you can complete those assignments according to what the instructor is asking, but really at a time that's convenient for you. We also, again, want you to know that this is a quality education. We do get the question from time and time again, is this the same quality as if I was to take classes on campus? Absolutely, it is. We have the same instructors teaching online that would teach on campus. The Neurodiagnostics program here is only online, but your degree, when you graduate with your diploma, with your bachelor's degree, it does not say it's an online bachelor's degree. It is the same diploma that you will receive, the same as what anybody else here on campus would receive. This program is very affordable. I'm going to show you our tuition page in a minute. And our main goal is student support. So if you need anything, if you have any questions, if you're having trouble finding something, you're doing research, we have people that can help you. We have a distance education librarian that can help you with research. So again, it's be your own advocate and speak up, and we are more than happy to help you with any issues that you're having. So I'm going to talk for just a minute about the admissions process. It is a little complicated or confusing, but only in the sense that there's 2 admissions applications. Some people do get a little confused about that. And I am going to bring up our website, distanceed.uncc.edu is the distance education website. So when you go there, this is what you'll see, and this information session that's on our website will be updated with our new information session that we're doing. But this pretty much gives you a complete overview of the program. The tuition and fees you can see is on the right of the page. So you can see base resident, non-resident tuition. Program contact, so there I am, and Abby Deming is also listed with her email address. And then if you continue to scroll down, you'll see the curriculum, all details about the courses, which is very interesting to get more of a deeper understanding of what the courses require. And then about halfway down is the admissions section. So as you can see, the deadline to apply is June 1st. And I know, again, many of you have already started your application. Some have finished. We've received everything. If you're not sure where you are in the process with admissions, you can always log back into your Future 49er portal and check your status. If you have any questions about your status in admissions, you can always contact me and I can help you with that. So you need 2 applications to apply. You need to apply to the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, and you also need to apply to the kinesiology department. There's a Neurodiagnostics application, but there are links on this website to both. So you can apply, and I encourage you to apply to both or complete both applications at the same time and submit them, simultaneously. Once we get your UNC Charlotte application, the university's admissions office will make their decision first. It is required by the university that the admissions office will make their decision first. And then once we hear from the university's admissions office, then we know in the Department of Kinesiology that we can make a decision on your application. And I know that Abby is starting to do that process right now. But please go ahead and complete your application. You still have plenty of time. You only need to submit 1 set of your transcripts, and you will submit that directly to the university's admission application online. And then we in the Department of Kinesiology can get a copy of your transcripts from them, so you don't have to bother doing 2 sets of transcripts. You also will need a photocopy of your RPSGT or your REEGT certificate and a current basic life support or basic CPR certification. The 2 certifications will need to be sent to Abby Deming, and this is her address you can send them to here. So once we hear from University Admissions, we will go ahead and make a decision on your application, and then you will get, it's kind of on a rolling basis, and you will get an email from the department or a hard copy letter. So here are some of the requirements to be eligible for the program. So we mentioned some of the certifications already. And then what we accept here at the university is you need to have an associate's degree from a regionally accredited institution. Make sure that your institution is regionally accredited. It can be an AS or an AA degree, or it can be an AAS in either polysomnography, neurodiagnostics technology, or respiratory therapy. Only those 3. You can also have a bachelor's degree, and you would be completing your 2nd bachelor's with us. You would need to have some training in sleep technology. It just helps add to the quality of the program since everybody has some experience. Okay, so those are the requirements for admissions. I'm going to go back to my presentation. So I wanted to say one other quick note about the transcripts. So if you, as long as you complete your application by June 1st, hopefully we will have all your transcripts by then. I do know that the University Admissions Office will give another week or 2 after June 1st for some of those late transcripts to come in, but those are very important. We will not be able to make a decision until those transcripts have arrived. So if it's June 1st and you know your transcripts haven't arrived yet, just shoot me an email or call me and let me know, and I can just make sure that we hold on to your application for a week or 2 more. And then we will make decisions once we get everything completed. So once we hear from the university, Abby and Dr. Mary Ellen Wells will be making decisions on applications. So our classes will start, we already talked about the deadline to apply, but our classes will start in the fall, and that happens in mid-August. So you'll be accepted to the program, you will get enrolled into the online orientation, and you should be ready to go by mid-August for your first semester of classes. And you are enrolled together in a cohort, and this is just everybody kind of starts together, and for the most part, you go through your program with the same people going through your classes together, which is great because you really start building your network of people you know in the industry, and you get to know people on a deeper level, and those relationships can really last throughout your career, and so it's a great way to go through the program. Okay, so just a little bit more about student services. As I mentioned, on our website, which I just showed you, we take student services very seriously. We have put together what we call an online student backpack. So we've kind of packaged all of the different student services that on-campus students can easily access here being on campus. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a distance education librarian, and we have information on, if you go to our website, you'll find a section called the Online Student Backpack, and there's information on how to contact our distance education librarian, and she or he will help you locate information, help you with research, help you to know how to conduct research. If you are looking for an article that you cannot find online, they will get that article for you. They will email you a copy of it. So that is a huge benefit of this program, I think. Student computing and technical support, every now and then you might need some technical support, whatever the issue may be with the computer, but we do have technical specifications in our online orientation that you will have access to. So you can kind of make sure before you even get into classes in the fall that your computer is matching what our technical specifications are. We have the Writing Resource Center. They do online writing tutoring, writing assistance. They will help you with some editing of papers. They'll help you brainstorm ideas of what you may want to write about. So that's another great benefit. The University Career Center will help you with your resume or interviewing. And any process or any part of the process throughout your job search once you leave here, if that's a goal of yours. The Office of Disability Services, if you do need any accommodations or services from them, we have information again in our online orientation on how to become registered with the office. And then every semester we provide registration assistance. You will register for your own classes yourself on your computer, but again, with any issues that you have with registration, you have a direct line to the distance education office. So you will pretty much get a person on the end of the phone if you have any problems or you need assistance. So it's almost more of a high-touch environment when you're in distance education. There's about 25,000 students on campus, and so you're not on campus, so you don't have to compete with them. We are a dedicated office for you. So here's our tuition and fees page. Again, you can access this. I want to just get this on the website again. On this website that I showed you, we have a tuitions tab, and I'll just show you where that goes. That goes to our financial office, and if you scroll down, you can see the rates that are on here are from fall and spring past. Every summer, the state of North Carolina does reevaluate the tuition and fees, and so they will send us the new rates over the summer. We haven't received them yet, but those will be updated here. We do have the summer rates, but we don't have the fall rates yet. But you can kind of see if you click on these, you can get information about what the tuition rates and fees are for summer. And it's pretty clearly laid out by, how many credits are you taking. Typically, each course is about a 3-credit-hour course. So that you can always have access to that tuitions page. And it's also clearly stated on our website too, which I think I pointed out when we were on that. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over in terms of admissions and student services. And so again, we are just so happy that you decided to join us today. And if you have any questions, we can take questions now. So again, if you want to email me, I'll check my emails. Or if you have a microphone, please go ahead and speak through your microphone. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, is there a screenshot in case, can they type in too or only voice? Okay, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Everyone's shy?
Okay, somebody is asking a question.
Okay.
I will read.
Okay.
I will read you the question.
Okay.
I had on-the-job training in sleep and took my boards through BRPT and passed, currently working in sleep. I will be graduating Saturday, but not from an NDT online program, sitting for my first part of the exam in June. Will this qualify me to be eligible for the program?
What is your degree in?
Yes, we'll need to know what your degree is in. Okay. Well, again, the AAS needs to be.
Yeah, if you are completing a associate degree from an accredited
Regional
sleep or EEG program, then that's fine. And it sounds like you're getting ready to take your boards over the summer. So again,
qualify for the boards.
yeah, it sounds like you actually probably did already qualify for the boards, probably from your on-the-job training, depending on when you did that training, and because the guidelines for the BRPT exam changed over time, and they're actually getting ready to change again. But yeah, it really depends on what your degree is and where you're getting it from. If you're joining us and you're someone that does not have a degree and you're looking to eventually come to our program and you want to know where you can go to get the associate degree to qualify to come to our program, the way that you can find that information is to go to www.chep.org. And on that page, there's a tab at the top where you can actually I can just show you. I'll go on here and show you. You can actually click, and there's a link that will show you a list of all of the schools for sleep and neurodiagnostics technologists. So here you go to chep.org, go to find an accredited program, select the profession. You can do neurodiagnostics technology, or you can also do polysomnographic technology. I'll click on that one just for this. Now, if you're looking for a specific state, you can select that, or you can leave it as anywhere. There are some online programs, and I thought there was somewhere on here. So you want to make sure that you take out, obviously master's isn't applicable, take out diploma and take out certificate, because you're wanting associate level. Okay, here we go. So you can click accredited, or if you want to click specifically, if you know there's not one in your state, you can look for one online too, because there are some online associate degree programs as well. So then you search, and it'll give you a breakdown by state. So you can see Gateway Community College in Arizona, Orange Coast, and it gives you all of the information. It gives you a link to the school's website, the program directors, and those types of things. I know there are some online programs on here. Minneapolis Community and Technical College, Chad just put that program online. I know Mercy College of Health Sciences in Des Moines, Iowa is getting ready to start their program up again, and they are an online program. There's also a couple of other ones mixed in through here. So there's those, and like I said, you can also change this up here and search under Neurodiagnostics Technology as well, and see the list of all the programs. So
That's great.
yes.
Okay. So, well, even if you don't have a question right now, you can always email or call either Abby or myself if you have questions that you come up with later and you need some help or with the process of admissions or whatever the case may be. Please feel free to contact us at any time. Here's our contact information again. And thank you again for joining us today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and happy Mother's Day to any mothers out there. We hope to hear from you. We hope to be able to review your application for admission. Again, June 1st is the deadline. And thank you again for joining us.
Thanks.